So hey guys, welcome back to day 3 of Advent of Code 2023. We're solving it in Python. I'm Mukilan, by the way. Let's get started. Day 3 was just very difficult. I couldn't solve it. I spent like 6 hours getting nowhere. So I finally solved it because of a nice guy who made a YouTube video called Advent of Code. So he's called Hyperneutrino. So you can subscribe and you can like the video. This video explains it wonderfully. So in this video I'm not even explaining the part 2 of the puzzle, so I'm just going to recommend you to go to this one. So that's linked in the description. So I'm just going to go over the part 1 of this puzzle because that's what I understood. Part 2 is still a little bit hazy, so I'm not going to go through that. So let's just get started. Yeah, so in day 3 we have reached the gondola lift, but the lift is not working. So we have an elf, and elf says we need to fix it. So let's just get started. The engineer explains that an engine part seems to be missing from the engine, but nobody can figure out which one. If you can add up all the part numbers in the engine schematic, it should be easy to work out which part is missing. The engine schematic, your puzzle input, consists of a visual representation of the engine. There are lots of numbers and symbols you don't really understand, but apparently any number adjacent to a symbol, even diagonally, is a part number and should be included in your sum. Alright, so periods don't count as a symbol, and numbers are not symbols. Anything other than that is a special character, right? So those are symbols. So let's say in the small puzzle there's 4, 6, 7. 7 is adjacent to the star, therefore that's part of the engine number. And 35, 5 is adjacent to the star, and that's also part of the engine number. Yeah. So we're going to do that. How are we going to do that? First, we're going to read this into a grid. And then we need to first see how adjacent numbers work. So we're going to solve this by constructing a rectangle around the number. So adjacency can be in 8 directions. It can be top, bottom, left, right, top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. And anything which is not a digit or a dot it's considered as a special character. So we're just going to check that. So how are we going to do that? We're going to take individual values, check if it is in digit, or if it's a period, then we'll not process them. If it's not those, then we can have 3 possible configurations for row and 3 possible configurations for column, right? So for row it can be n minus row n minus 1, row and row n plus 1. Column, it's column n minus 1, column n plus 1, right? Now let's say if it's out of bounds, that is column n is column of the row is less than 0, or like it's column C, which is actually the column value for the actual, the unit is less than 0. If we go out of bounds, right? If we go out of bounds, then we don't really consider those cases, we just pass them, we continue them. But if they don't go out of bounds, then we can actually, we can print and see how it actually looks. So these are all special characters. So we can see that the special character star value of 7 at line 0, right? So there is a 7 at line 0 with star. So we can have, it does the same thing for all of those special characters. It finds numbers adjacent to that. And then what we do is we go through we use the coordinates. We have an intermediate string, and then we keep adding until we reach the right now we are adding only the first element to the beginning set. So we find the last element, we backtrack till the first element, and then add it to the beginning set. Now what we'll do is we use this beginning set, we'll get the whole number outside. So let's say previously it was 467. We found out that we got the 7 is adjacent to special character. In this line what we are doing is we keep backtracking until we get to, we'll have 7, it'll go to 6, and we'll backtrack to 4. But after 4 there is like nothing, it's the boundary condition. Therefore we'll come back and be like 4 is the starting, right? So starting position is 0. So we'll store something like 0 0, right? And then we'll start with the coordinate, and then we'll get the value at that coordinate for the grid, and then we'll continuously go till the next one is numeric and add it, and we keep the number, right? So that number is appended to the num list, and then it's just simple finding the sum of all the numbers in the num list, right? So we get 4361, which is the actual answer. My puzzle answer is this, but your puzzle answer will probably be different. Now I'm not going to go through part 2 in this video because again, as I told in the beginning, I'm still a little bit hazy about this. There's some ratio involved here, so I'm just gonna ask you guys to go to that video. I don't even know if anyone is watching this, but if you're still watching this, consider subscribing. I can promise you that tomorrow's video is fully my solution. I thought through everything, so I'm proud of that. But today it was like day 3 was just hard, man, really hard. So I'm not even gonna explain that. So consider subscribing and liking. See you in the next one. Until then,